Greetings, dear child of God. This Thursday, 4th of December, we are looking at Joshua and us, and still on lesson 10, which is the true Joshua. Joshua and us. Joshua, as a type, points beyond the ministry of Jesus Christ to a fulfillment or in the life of the church, Christ's body. In what sense do the wars Israel fought under Joshua foreshadow the spiritual struggles of the church? How are they different? We shall look at 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 18, 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 7, Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10 to 12, 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3 to 5, and Acts chapter 20 verse 32. 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 18 says, "This charge I commit to you, son Timothy, according to the prophecies previously made concerning you, that by them you may wage the good warfare." 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 7 says, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10 to 12 says, "Finally, brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3 to 5 says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war again according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ." Acts chapter 20 verse 32 says, "So now, brethren, I commend you to God and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and give you an inheritance among all those who are sanctified." Amen. The writers of the New Testament recognize the ecclesiological, that is, church, fulfillment of the Joshua typology. The members of Christ's body, the church, are involved in a spiritual warfare against evil forces. Nevertheless, they enjoy the rest of God's grace and the blessings of their spiritual inheritance. What do these texts say about the ultimate fulfillment of the Joshua typology? What do these texts say about the ultimate fulfillment of the Joshua typology? We'll read 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 4. It says, "To an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that does not fade away, reserved in heaven for you." Colossians chapter 3 verse 24 says, "Knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ." Revelation chapter 20 verse 9 says, "They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them." Last but not least, Revelation chapter 21 verse 3, it says, "And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God." Amen. What do these texts that I have read say about the ultimate fulfillment of the Joshua typology? In the final and the complete fulfillment of Joshua typology will be accomplished at the second coming of Jesus Christ. That is the apocalyptic stroke eschatological aspect. Joshua's life reflected so much of God's character that certain aspects of his life took on a prophetic character foreshadowing the activity and person of the Messiah. For us today, the Messiah has already come. His ministry does not need to be prefigured, but we still have the privilege of reflecting his character, the glory that Christ longed to share with his disciples. See John chapter 17, verse 22. And that can become ours by contemplating the character of Christ. See 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. The more we contemplate Jesus, the more we reflect the beauty of his character. This is so foundational to our daily walk with Christ. This is so foundational to what our daily walk with Christ should lead to. This is why time in the world every day is so important. This is why, too, we should also spend time dwelling in the life and character and teaching of Jesus. By beholding, yes, we do become changed. Question to reflect upon today. Joshua the type asked the Israelites, how long will you neglect to go and possess the land which the Lord your God of your fathers has given you? How would Jesus, the antitype of Joshua, phrase that question today? I repeat. Joshua, the type, asked the Israelites, how long will you neglect to go and possess the land which the Lord your God of your father has given you? How would Jesus, the antitype of Joshua, phrase that question today? That is to us. May we ponder about this, and if you have any comment, you can put that in the comment section. May God bless you, and may his grace be sufficient to us that we may meet again tomorrow for another study as we bring this week's lesson to an end. Thank you.